The cost of Suboxone. Suboxone is a prescription medication used to treat opioid addiction. It is a combination of two drugs, buprenorphine and naloxone. Buprenorphine helps reduce cravings for opioids, while naloxone blocks the effects of opioids and can help prevent abuse. Suboxone is an effective treatment for opioid addiction, and people who use it as prescribed can significantly reduce their risk of relapse. However, like all medications, Suboxone does come with a cost. And you're right to be wondering how much Suboxone costs, as it can vary depending on several factors. In this video, we will discuss the cost of Suboxone in detail. We will look at how much it costs with and without insurance and the factors that affect pricing. We will also explore discounts that are available for this medication. But first, let's explore our options when paying for Suboxone. You may either pay out of pocket or through insurance. Medicare and Medicaid will usually cover the cost of Suboxone, as will most private insurance plans. However, there may be some out-of-pocket costs depending on the specific plan. Medicare Part D plans have a deductible you must meet before coverage kicks in, and then there is a coinsurance or copayment for each prescription. Medicaid plans vary by state, but most will cover the cost of Suboxone with little or no out-of-pocket costs for the patient. Private insurance plans also vary, but most will offer some coverage for Suboxone. Some plans may require a copayment, while others may have a coinsurance. It is essential to check with the specific insurance plan to see the coverage for Suboxone. Several factors can affect how much Suboxone costs with insurance. Take a look at how these three factors play a role in the overall cost. The deductible is the amount you must pay out of pocket before your insurance coverage kicks in. For example, if your deductible is $500 and you still need to meet it, you will be responsible for paying the first $500 of your medical expenses. It means that if the cost of Suboxone is more than your deductible, you will be responsible for the difference. However, if the price of Suboxone is less than your deductible, you will only be responsible for paying that amount. A copay is a fixed amount you pay for a prescription, regardless of the cost. For example, if your copay is $10 and the cost of Suboxone is $100, you will only be responsible for paying $10. Coinsurance is when you are responsible for paying a percentage of the cost of a prescription. For example, if you have a coinsurance of 20% and the cost of Suboxone is $100, you will be responsible for paying $20. Examine all these factors when considering how much Suboxone will cost with insurance. The deductible, copay, and coinsurance can all play a role in the final price. And when choosing an insurance plan, be sure to ask about coverage for Suboxone. Some plans may not cover this medication, or they may only offer limited coverage. When an insurance provider says that it fully covers something, that typically means there is no patient cost sharing. However, some insurers use the term substantially covered to indicate that the patient may still be on the hook for some out-of-pocket costs. So it's always important to ask about coverage for Suboxone specifically. As we mentioned, most health insurance providers will offer some coverage for Suboxone. However, a few stand out when it comes to this medication. Medicare is a federal health insurance program for people 65 and over and those with specific disabilities. Part D of Medicare covers prescription drugs, and most plans will offer some coverage for Suboxone. Medicaid is a state and federal health insurance program for low-income individuals and families. Medicaid plans vary by state, but most will offer some coverage for Suboxone. Employers, unions, or other organizations offer private insurance plans. Some examples of private insurance providers that offer coverage for Suboxone are Aetna, United Health Group, Anthem, Humana, TRICARE, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Kaiser Permanente. Now that we've discussed how much Suboxone costs with insurance, let us look at the cost of this medication without insurance. The cash price of Suboxone ranges from $90 to $600 for a supply of 30 tablets. This price will vary depending on several factors, including the medication strength, the formulation, and the doses a patient needs per day. Let us look at how these factors play a role in the cost of Suboxone. Several factors can influence the cost of Suboxone, including Suboxone is the brand name of the medication buprenorphine and naloxone. Buprenorphine and naloxone medication is an FDA-approved generic version of Suboxone that also helps deter opioid abuse. The brand name Suboxone is typically more expensive than the generic buprenorphine and naloxone. Both branded and generic versions of this medication are equally effective. So if you're looking to save money on Suboxone, the generic version is usually the way to go. Suboxone comes in two different formulations, tablet and film. The tablet and the film formulation, a thin film strip, are placed under the tongue to dissolve. The price of Suboxone will vary depending on which formulation you choose. In general, the film formulation is more expensive than the tablet formulation. Suboxone has 4 strengths: 2 mg buprenorphine and 0.5 mg naloxone, 4 mg and 1 mg, 8 mg and 2 mg, and 12 mg and 3 mg. The price will vary depending on the strength of the medication. In general, the higher the strength, the higher the cost. Lastly, the price of Suboxone will vary depending on how many doses a patient needs per day. The recommended dose is 8 mg to 16 mg once daily. However, some patients may require a higher dose depending on their circumstances. If you're struggling to afford the cost of Suboxone, a few discounts and assistance programs may be able to help. For example, the manufacturer of Suboxone offers a patient assistance program for those who qualify. This program provides free or discounted medication to low-income individuals. Uninsured people can avail of up to a $170 discount per month. Additionally, some private companies offer discount coupons for Suboxone. These coupons can reduce the cost of Suboxone by up to 80%. Examples of such companies include GoodRx, Drugs.com, and RX Pharmacy coupons. These discount coupons can be used at most major pharmacies, including Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, Albertsons, and Rite Aid. If you're struggling to afford the cost of Suboxone, be sure to check out these discounts and assistance programs. With a bit of research, you should find a program that can help reduce the cost of this medication. Suboxone can be costly, ranging from $90 to $600, depending on insurance coverage and other factors. However, there are ways to reduce the price of Suboxone. If you have insurance, check with your insurance provider to see what coverage you have for this medication. It will help you budget for your Suboxone costs. If you're uninsured, some assistance programs and discounts available can help reduce the cost of Suboxone. Be sure to do your research to find a program that can help you afford this medication. Suboxone is an essential medication for those struggling with opioid addiction. By understanding the cost of this medication, you can be better prepared to budget for your treatment. If you want to explore your options with a professional, talk to a Suboxone doctor via suboxonedoctor.com. We can help you find a certified Suboxone doctor in your area and start your recovery journey.